1 pitch. A swing and a drive to deep right. Away back. Goal!
And with that hammy call, it is time for another episode of a Swing and a Try podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I am your host, Mike Voorhees, and as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Brent Spillin. B. Spills, what is going on, my man?
Mikey V, man, it's always good to hear your voice because when I hear it right after Hammy, we know we're talking Indians baseball.
Yes, we are.
No, man, I'm doing well. Nothing too crazy going on. What about you, man? How you doing?
Well, started a new job, obviously, last week, working a little bit of some crazy hours. So I appreciate your flexibility this week as we didn't know when we were going to record. So I appreciate that. And so.
Absolutely. Considering you were one of the unfortunate ones to lose your job during COVID, during the quarantine. But here you are back at it, stronger than ever.
Yes, sir.
I like it. No,
and the
man,
Indians,
I'm happy for you.
And the Indians are playing, and they're doing well.
Yeah, speaking of strong, like you, the Indians have come on strong. Have come on strong a little bit lately.
Absolutely.
So where are we at right now?
So the Indians, as of tonight, 19-12, 6.13 winning percentage. They are winners of 2 straight, and in their last 10 games, we are 7-3. I think they're turning the corner, V-Spills.
I like it, man. They just took 2 out of 3 against the Twins.
Yep.
So we're only half game back from them right now.
Yeah, so we're tied for second with those pesky White Sox.
We knew it, though. We knew they'd be right there.
Oh, yeah.
They're a young team.
Absolutely. But, I mean, we're in the thick of the wild card race, which is great. You know,
wild card. Whoa! Don't set your standards for wild card.
Well, I'm saying at worst we're in the wild card race. Of course, we're going to take the division, but if the playoffs started today, we'd be in the playoffs. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think Fangraphs. I think has like the Indians at like 97% chance of getting in.
Come on, we know the Central Division is one of the weaker divisions in baseball. We've heard it for a long time, and
when you got like over half teams in the baseball can get into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's going to make things very interesting. But at least we're not the Pirates, owners of the worst record in baseball at 8-19. Ouch.
But I will say, man, they gave the Indians quite a run like a week or so ago.
Well, and I honestly think that the Indians had some distractions going on as well, and we can talk about that a little bit later.
Next man up, baby. Next man up. No distractions.
Next man up. So, B. Spills.
Yeah.
Hit me with some news, baby. What's going on with our tribe right now?
All right. Well, we just talked a little bit there. We kind of introed into it. But so, like you said, Indians are 19-12. We're right there for the division. I'm pretty confident they're going to get the playoffs, even if they're not one of the top 2 teams in the division.
Right.
The next 2 are based on record. And looking at the standings right now, Indians are pretty safe. A safe bet to make it. But granted, a lot of teams are close. It's probably the last week of the season. There's going to be a lot of changing, obviously, because there's only 60 games. So I'm happy the Indians took 2 out of 3 against Twins. Coming in, they lost 4 in a row. They lost an opener to them, but they won the last 2. Thanks to Frankie, had a great night 2 games ago.
Yeah.
Had a clutch homer, 2-run homer.
Yeah. Don't forget about Jose. Can't forget about Jose.
Oh man, he was on like a hitless streak. I don't know, 20-something at bats for a while, and yeah, last night he had a 3-run homer. Oh, it just got over the wall.
Did you happen to see his 2 stolen bases?
Yeah, dude, man, I did, but explain it.
So yeah, he was on first. The pitcher goes to throw over to, as like a pickoff attempt, and the throw goes way wide and takes the first baseman off the bag, and Jose's able to run to second, beats the throw, he's safe. And then like 2 pitches later, he steals third. He gets up and his jersey's just covered in dirt, and he's got a huge smile on his face. He lost the batting helmet in the process of running. Like it was so cool to watch. Like it had that playoff baseball atmosphere.
That's funny. Do you ever see Zach Meisel on Twitter? He has like the Jose's helmet counter.
The helmet count. Yep, the helmet counter.
how many times it flies off. I don't even know what it's up to now. I lost track. Dude, it's awesome taking 2 out of 3 against the Twins. But you know what's even more exciting right now?
What's that?
It happened the series before against the Tigers. This 23-year-old phenom, Tristan McKenzie, made his major league debut.
And what a debut it was. I know he's been touted as the 9th ranked prospect in the Indians organization. We've all been waiting and waiting. I've seen him pitch in Mahoning Valley. I've seen him pitch for the Akron Arrows / Rubber Ducks. Finally, he got to pitch for the Indians. And B-Spills, let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I will preface it with this. We understand there's not much tape on him. He's not pitching in minors right now, so there's not a huge scouting report. But regardless, he's going against major league hitting, and man, he was throwing strikes all day.
It doesn't matter that they played the Tigers either. I don't want to hear any. Well, we played the Tigers. No, it doesn't matter. Tigers still have major league hitters. They have batters that are doing really well.
Yeah,
he missed 2019 with his shoulder. So we're not, I get it. We get it. It's one start, but
yeah, since we've said all that, now let's get to it here.
Yeah,
he went 6 innings, 2 hits. He only gave up 2 hits, a run, 1 walk, but he had 10 strikeouts. 10. He only threw 80 pitches.
Yeah, and I know the one of the hits that he gave up was a home run, and that's going to happen. I'm sure his nerves were churning a little bit, but my goodness, his first major league strikeout. I just wish there were fans in attendance that could have been cheering this kid on. I know that Tristan had a special guest watching him.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Let me just finish up some of his numbers real quick.
Yeah.
Well, since you reminded me when you said his first strikeout was against Miguel Cabrera.
Future Hall of Famer.
And I believe I saw something that Tristan was like 5 years old or something when Miggy made his major league debut.
Did you also see that Miggy gave him the tip of the cap? He tapped the top of his batting helmet after he struck out as a sign of respect. Tristan got him on a nasty changeup.
That was pretty cool, man.
That is cool.
So his velocity, his fastballs, man, he was slinging them pretty well. He was about 94.5 mile an hour was the slowest one, and his fastest was like 96.5. His curve, it was the second most pitch, I think, but man, he was throwing it well. All right, Mike. Tristan's 10 strikeouts are the second most by an Indians player in their major league debut. And the most was back in 1964 with 11 strikeouts, and that was Louis Tiant. You remember him?
Dude, Louis Tiant, let me tell you, that guy, if you have not seen film of Louis Tiant, go and watch it. He was an amazing pitcher. He held the ball really high above his head, and his windup, he'd almost turn a complete 180 before he would throw it to the plate. He had an upper 90s fastball, a killer off-speed pitch. Like, Louis Tiant was awesome, and I love that he got to play with the Indians. Like, that was really cool for me. I play video games, and when I play some of the older Indian squads, like, he's one of the guys that I love to pick because of his windup. Obviously him and Bob Feller have a very similar windup. But yeah, Louis Tiant, man, 11. That's a pretty high. That's some nice company right there.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's crazy. So he was the 28th pitcher since 1901 with at least 10 strikeouts in the first career game. 28th in over 100 years. Yeah. I mean, okay, I know we talked about it earlier. I mean, I'm not getting ahead of myself. It's just, dude, these Indians and their pitching. Like, let's see what he does after a few more starts, and he'll probably come back down to earth a little bit. But man, they just keep plugging them in. Doesn't matter. Then they win Cy Youngs and go somewhere else. And then we get guys just right up the pipeline, man.
The Indians have a factory. We just produce starting pitching over and over and over again. Tristan's next start actually will be tomorrow night in St. Louis against the Cardinals. So that's kind of cool too. Being able to pitch it at Busch Stadium like that, that's kind of cool.
That's going to be a real test.
and I'll be excited to watch it and see if our boy can continue his magic.
That's cool. Speaking of your boy, his boy that you mentioned earlier, Nolan Jones,
Yeah.
was watching the game from the top deck of the parking garage next door to Progressive Field. I thought that
Yeah.
was, man, that's showing love for your
That's
teammate and your
a
buddy.
that's a true friend right there. And the fact that he was able to get across the street up to the top of the parking deck and then had a camera and binoculars to watch Tristan McKenzie, and from what everybody has said, he was cheering him on, yelling and screaming after every strikeout and after the Indians would get an out. Like you could see how excited he was for his friend, and that's awesome. Beast Bills, I know you would do that for me. I would do that for you, right? That's the kind of friendship
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah. So if you're recording a podcast, Mike, from your house, I will stand and watch you from your driveway.
I love it. I love it. And I will do the same for you, Beast Bills. I would.
Yeah, that's great, man. So that's an awesome thing. Something that is not as great is this outfield carousel the Indians have going on. Like what I
Yeah.
something they played 29 games, and I think I heard they've had 19 different lineups in that outfield or combinations. I'm like,
So
what?
I'm going to say this. Can we please stick to getting guys regular playing time? Like, you can't expect guys to produce at a high level if they're starting one game, sitting 3 games, starting 2 games, sitting 4 games. Like, you got to get some continuity. Like, I know Tyler Naquin's starting to hit, and I know that surprisingly Delino DeShields is hitting well. Domingo Santana, not so much. Like, I know his batting average is south of 200, and Greg Allen, it hasn't been here very long. They keep, he'll come up for a game or they'll send him down and they bring him back. Um, we just need some continuity. That's our offense is terrible. The only way it's going to get better, the outfield is probably our biggest Achilles heel right now.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but that's why I can see the Indians maybe doing something before the trade deadline. Not
Uh,
even. I mean, it might not be anything major. But remember when they got Brandon Geyer in 2016?
yeah,
That was
Mr. Hit by Pitch. Yeah,
yeah. I
that
mean,
guy.
that was an under the radar move, but that was something that really helped the Indians, especially in the playoffs.
Do you know a current Indian that we just picked up last year at the trade deadline? Oh, that's right, Franmil Reyes. The Indians know what they're doing. So could a trade be in the works? We'll talk about that in a little bit as you and I will give some insight on what we think the Indians will do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, which we'll get to. Some roster moves, Mike.
Yeah,
Berto, man, Berto is back. He's been back since the 18th of
thank
August.
goodness.
I
Thank
mean, I know
goodness.
he's not he's not lighting up the field with his bat, but man, just him, his leadership, and dude, and how he's like a wizard behind the plate with those especially those young guys, those young pitchers.
Yeah, he knows how to call a game really well, and I know that since he was with the Indians, they always talked about his defense and just his overall intelligence of baseball and his ability to call a great game, and it shows. I think the Indians are glad to have him back, and the battle come. He's not going to hit 300. He's probably going to hit about 230, 240, but just to have him back, I think it'll prove immediate dividends for them.
Oh, dude, I would love to 30, 240 right now on him.
Hmm.
But some young guys, Oscar Mercado, man, he just started the season off struggling, so he got sent back to the alternate camp.
Don't they
And
call it a sophomore slump?
yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, he needs to get it. He'll figure it out. I mean, he's a talented kid. He'll be back. It's gonna some of it has to do with that outfield carousel, but
Yeah, we'll see,
alternate camp
man.
he can play every day and practice and swing and
So Bradley Zimmer, his roster spot went to McKenzie, who we've talked about already.
yeah, and Bradley
But
wasn't setting the world on fire.
yeah, but one of the biggest things, man, is Tito. Just the poor guy is health wise is just not doing the best.
He had surgery. Like, I just assumed he was having like some stomach issues, and then I
Oh,
hear he's having surgery, and then I hear that there could potentially be like blood clots, and I'm like,
yeah.
this is Tito, man. Like, stop the presses. We can't lose Tito.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to happen. We need him back, but obviously, I mean, his health obviously comes first, and he
Hmm.
knows that, and so he got to get him 100%, or at least close to it. But I know he's probably fighting, man. He's fighting to get back here.
He's managing in some aspect. Like
Probably.
he's talking with Sandy Alomar, who's done an amazing job. We know Sandy will be a major league manager someday. Hopefully, it's with Cleveland after Tito moves on or retires. But shouts to Sandy Alomar Jr. He's done a really good job
Yeah,
holding the fort down.
when you hear trash cans, that's just Tito trying to communicate with Sandy
Oh,
Alomar.
that's a terrible joke. Oh, that's a terrible joke. No, no Houston Astro
Uh,
stuff right now. Come on, come
man.
on.
But anyways, man. All right. Well, that's some of the news going on, and some of the roster changes, moves. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, like every day there could be there's usually something, or every other day. Um, but let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly with the Tribe
yeah,
right now, Mike. Okay, so this is an obvious one, but let's
right.
talk about it.
So
The good.
the good, we got to go with the Indians pitching. We know, we know. We said it last time. We said it last episode. But man, Shane Bieber. Maybe the good can be just Shane Bieber.
I know that's going to be easy for us every episode. It's just going to be him. We'll talk about him every time. But
Shane Bieber, Cy
so
Young front runner for the American League.
yeah,
Like,
man. Let's hang out. So since you mentioned Cy Young front runner, let's hang out here for a minute. Let me tell you some numbers, can I?
absolutely.
Okay. So he's 6-0 right now. He has 9 walks. He's only given 9 walks. He has 1.29 ERA, 75 strikeouts. 75. Okay, Mike, this is a 60 game season. What if he somehow got up to like 150 strikeouts in 60 games?
It's very possible if he continues the streak that he is on. Shane Bieber is on a completely different level right now.
Goodness,
Completely
man.
different level.
Dude, oh, I know. Like he's given up a handful of homers, solos usually. But
Yeah,
man, I mean, but he's leading the AL with wins and that ERA. And according to Elias Sports Bureau, his 75 strikeouts are 6th most by any major league pitcher through the first 7 starts of a season since 1893.
yeah. I wasn't alive back then, but we've had some really good pitchers, come across in our lifetime, and I honestly think I might be a homer for saying this, but I honestly think that Shane Bieber is something special. That
Yeah,
we're seeing it live. We're seeing it with the Indians. Like he's on another level.
dude,
Video game numbers. Those are video game numbers. 75 strikeouts to 9 walks. That's
dude,
insane.
man, it's so crazy. And just some more numbers, man. So he struck out at least 8 batters in each of his 7 starts. The last person to do that was a guy named Bob Feller in 1946, and he
Yeah.
did that actually through the first 9 starts. So that's pretty incredible in itself. But
You're
it's like that's
hearing
this
they're
is so
comparing Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, like to Nolan Ryan, Pedro Martinez, Kurt Schilling, Sam McDowell. You said it, Bob Feller. Like those are all amazing Hall of Fame pitchers. And you're
dude.
putting Shane Bieber in that class.
I
We
know,
know
and
what
he's
we know what he can do last year. He won the, you know, All-Star game MVP.
yeah, which you called.
I did.
You called. I'll give you props every time we talk about it. But he has like 15. No. He has more quality starts in Major League than like 15 teams. I'm like, unbelievable.
I
Something
was
interesting.
I
Oh, sorry, go
did you
ahead.
see the game against Minnesota?
Yeah,
He threw a knuckle, like a knuckle curve, and it literally hit the ground probably. So the mound is, I think, 60 feet 6 inches. Like the ball didn't even make it to like 57 inches. It hit the ground completely in front of the plate, and the batter swung at it. Like that's when you know that you have amazing stuff, is you can throw the ball literally on the ground and guys are swinging at it.
I know, man. Like sometimes I have to like rewind his pitches because they move so much, and I'm like, what just happened to that ball? How did it drop out? I'm like, where'd it go?
It-
But man,
Shane Bieber, we love you. We want you to stay an Indian forever and continue. What if he goes undefeated this season? Like, there's so many what ifs right now. He could be the American League MVP, Cy Young Award winner. He could lead the league in strikeouts.
yeah,
Like,
it's those
this
it's
is
those
something we
strikeouts.
haven't seen.
Yeah, man. Well, let me get something here real quick.
Yeah.
I saw this was on WKYC.com. They had an article on Bieber, and they like posted the 5 Indians pitchers who won Cy Youngs, and like
Hmm.
they put their numbers through the first 7 starts. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to go through these a little quicker. So 1972, Gaylord Perry won the Cy Young. Through 7 games, starts. He was 5-2 with a 2.02 ERA, 58 innings pitched, and 43 Ks. 43.
Okay. 43. Not bad.
2007, CC Sabathia was 5-0,
Wow.
3.45 ERA, 53 Ks. Then we move on the very next year, Cliff Lee in 2008, 6-0. This is pretty impressive. 6-0, 0.67 ERA, 44 Ks.
Wow.
2014, our boy, Corey Kluber, started out 2-3 with a 3.6 ERA, had 48 Ks. Then 3 years later, in 2017, Kluber was 4-2 with a 4.36 ERA and 51 Ks. You see that? The most was 53 Ks by CC. He is at 75. 75.
What does that tell you, Beast Bills?
You better keep it
This
up.
kid,
No, just
this
kidding.
kid, this kid is special. He has something that not a lot of pitchers have, and I am so thankful that he's an Indian and we get to watch him. I look forward to his starts every 5 days. I enjoy knowing that we're in good hands. He is truly the ace of our staff. Long live Shane. Don't call me Justin Bieber.
Yeah, man, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to move on here. We won't
Yeah.
spend as much time here in the bad, but so what you got for us? We got the good with Shane Bieber in the pitching. What's the bad?
So the bad is our dominance against the Tigers has come to an end as our 20-game winning streak ended.
I guess that's bad. That's more like a blip.
No, I'm
That's not
just
that
teasing.
bad.
Full dominance. We still own Detroit. You knew we weren't going to be able to win them all, but I think the bad is our offense. Like, legit, we're hitting 217 as a team. I know they're showing signs of life. Jose was in a slump and he's starting to pick it up. Fran Mil Reyes is tearing the cover off the ball. Frankie Lindor's starting to come around.
Slowly, yeah.
Slowly. We're getting there, but we need something. We need other guys. Like Carlos Santana is not where he usually is. Roberto Perez not hitting well. Cesar Hernandez, our true leadoff hitter, our free agent signing, he's doing pretty well. But
no, but I will say this about Santana. Like,
yeah,
I love Santana. I know you do too. I know he's not lighting up, but he's still like hitting milestones. The dude still gets on base. He still takes walks. And on the
absolutely.
18th, against the Pirates on the 18th of August, he had a go-ahead 3-run homer. It was in the top of the 10th, and so that's his 7th career go-ahead home run in extra innings. It's only second behind. Guess who?
Travis Hafner comes to mind, but I don't know if that's right.
That's a good guess. Jim Thome.
Well, of course, the icon, Jim Thome.
Yeah, he had 8. But yeah, man, I agree with the offense. The bottom half of the lineup, or the bottom fourth, third, is just they're struggling. I mean, Naquin's getting in there now, so like he's actually
back and healthy, and
he's hitting over 300. Granted, he doesn't have tons of at bats, but he's pinch hitting. He's coming up clutch. So that's my boy, dude. You know that.
well, and it was, getting real quick back to the 20-game streak that we had against the Tigers. That was the second longest winning streak versus an opponent, trailing only the Baltimore Orioles' 23-game winning streak against the Royals during the 1969-1970 season. So that 20-game winning streak is pretty impressive.
That is really impressive, man.
But
so now you know who I think the bad is? I know you said the offense, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
The bad, I think, man, I don't like saying this, it's Cookie, man. The last 3 outings, I'm going to just read off some of his numbers here real quick.
Okay. I'll
So,
hold my breath because I know
all
they're
right.
not very good.
Yeah, so 2 out of the 3 games were against the Tigers and the Pirates. So on the 23rd August, he only lasted 3 1/3. He up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 2 homers. Then on the 18th against the Pirates, he only went 4 1/3. He had 5 hits, 3 earned runs. And then against the Cubs on the 12th, 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, and 5 walks. So his ERA is bumped up to 4.5. And man, I don't know, man. What do you think he's gonna get this together, or eventually? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I want to say that Cookie will figure it out because you know how much we love Cookie. Like he's been an Indian for a really long time, and him battling leukemia and coming back, and
Oh, I know.
like so, my heart goes out to Cookie. But stats don't lie, and he's struggling, man. 33 years old, he's struggling. I don't know if maybe you move him to the bullpen. Maybe you know let him skip a start. Let him kind of gather himself. I don't know, but I know his name has been thrown around in trade rumors coming up.
Uh,
So like I hope he can turn it around. I want him to stay with the Indians, but he's got to pitch better, and that's the bottom line.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I almost didn't even want to talk about it tonight just because I love Cookie. And I can't even believe he's playing this year. Can't believe he even came back. So like, even when he does bad, like I don't get mad. I'm just like, that's
Yeah,
Cookie,
it's
man. That's Cookie. And like, who
I
knows what's going on with him? Like, physically to be able to do this still, even if he's going out there and giving it his all, man, that's all we can ask for right now, you know?
maybe you put him in the bullpen for a game. Treat him like you do Adam Plucko. Maybe you make him the long reliever. Maybe you let him just come in and get his confidence back and do what we know that he can do.
That's so hard though. Like,
Yeah,
you don't want to go back and forth with these guys from bullpen to starting. Like, that's just got to be so hard on them to prepare and mentally prepare for that. But all right, Mike, the ugly. I think it was the ugly last episode.
and it's going to be the ugly again. Can we talk about the Mike Clevenger and Zach Plesac saga that seems to not end? And you know
I
they're
guess we could talk about it for a little bit.
yeah. So both men banished to the alternate training site, part of the Indian 60-man roster that that aren't a part of the actual 26-man roster. They're sent out to Lake County to hang out, kind of like being exiled from the team. And Clevenger, of course, gets to come back, and he pitched on Tuesday night. I think it was a showcase game. I honestly think that the Indians have something up their sleeve with him, and I think that they're gonna trade him. And then I think maybe Zach Plesac is going to come back. That's the hope.
Yeah, man, this has been since August 8th, man. Almost, what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah,
This,
and Chris Antonetti told Zach Plesac that he basically did not have a major league pitching opportunity for him at this time. That's basically like your being in school and the principal basically telling you to go home and just
ooh.
stay at home until it's time, until you've learned your lesson. Like, go to your room, think about what you've done. We know that he's apologized, we know that he feels terrible, but rules are rules, and you broke them, and you've got to face the consequences.
And yeah, so I mean, it's not even the rules. It is the rules, but like that, it messed up that locker room or that clubhouse.
It did. You've
Guys
heard
were upset. You know,
Frankie Lindor, Oliver Perez, Adam Plucko, just to name three that have been extremely outspoken about Clevenger and Plesac. And Oliver Perez threatening to sit out the season if they were both brought back too soon, and Frankie Lindor saying the same thing, that it's they didn't want him on the team, and Plucko running them both through the mud. Like, it tore this team apart.
yeah, man. I mean, I will say this Indians organization. I mean, they have some leadership in that front office. Like
Yeah,
what they're doing, like I feel like they're handling it beautifully. You know, and So you can't argue that. You can't argue that. You could say they don't want to spend money, but they know what they're doing. They know how to manage a team. I feel like, not manage like the baseball team. That's Tito. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
manage the organization. But yeah, we'll see. And hopefully the next time we talk that we're not talking about this. I don't know. I don't think Clevenger's going to get traded, but
Well, yeah,
I don't want him. I don't want him to, actually. I do not want him to. Like, you have him for control for another handful of years. Like, maybe in 2 years, 3 years from now, you might want to
So
trade
so
him.
let's talk about this real quick before we end our show for tonight. I want your honest opinion right now. Do the Indians make a trade before Monday's deadline? And if they do, who gets traded?
Oh, dude. I don't know. It's just so hard, dude. In this COVID season, you only have a month left, and like, I just don't feel like you're gonna be able to like make. There's not gonna be any huge deals. I mean, I don't know. I literally do not know. I do not know. It is so hard. I mean, but the outfield, like we talked about this carousel, like you need either some veteran that can provide just some pop in the bat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or because I don't think anybody's gonna. You don't know. You can't evaluate minor league guys, so
No.
prospects really aren't a thing. I mean, you can based on last year or the year before, but I don't know. It's like what have you shown me lately? So like, even though the trade deadline is Monday, the 31st.
Monday the 31st.
So like these few days, these handful of days from now until then are going to be a big deal for teams. Like, they're going to want to see guys play and play well to make a decision if they want to trade for him, or like Clevenger, was that an audition? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't want him to. That's my opinion. I think you can take this team in the playoffs. But they do need a little bit more offense. I don't know if it's going to just happen, if they need to trade for it, bring a guy up from the alternate training site. But man, the starting pitching is like World Series starting pitching, even their bullpen right now. So like, you don't have to worry about all these middle relievers, especially the first round of the playoffs when there's only the best of 3. So I mean, I feel like they're good. Like, I'm okay if they don't make any moves, but if they do make a move, it needs to be an outfielder that can hit.
I'm gonna leave you with this. So I think the Indians make not one move, but 2.
Whoa. What?
So I think the Indians trade closer Brad Hand, who is slowly putting it together. I honestly think that Brad Hand is a very solid trade piece. And I'm going to go out on a limb and I say that Mike Clevenger gets traded.
Oh, that's bold, man.
And I'm going to say that once Clevenger gets traded, Plesac returns to the team.
That's interesting. So I want to ask you about the Hand thing. So I'm assuming that means Karinchak would be your closer.
Yes. I think James Karinchak is ready to go.
What about your setup guy?
I think it's a split between Phil Maton, Oliver Perez, and Adam Simber. I think it just depends on the situation.
Oh,
I think those 3 men can get it figured out.
I don't know. I mean, Hand is playing better, so it like helps the trade aspect of that. But man, if he can continue this, I think he's had 3 games in a row with like 1, 2, 3.
Yes, but he is a free agent at the end of the year.
Well, there's an option on him.
True, but I think the Indians like to dangle that out there to kind of see what they get. But yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Hand gets dealt, Clevenger gets dealt, and I'm going to throw another name that you haven't heard yet. Well, you may be, because he used to be our prospect. Clint Frazier comes back home to the Tribe.
They're not trading him to the Yankees. I don't care.
I think the Yankees would be involved in a 3-team deal.
Dude, I will not be
the only way I'm taking Frazier back. Clevenger's not going to New York.
No, I do not like it. Well,
yeah, we'll wait and see next time.
Oh, wait. You said 3-team.
A 3-team deal.
Okay, that I could see. I mean, I'm gonna say they're not making any big moves. They're gonna try to make a small trade maybe to bolster the outfield, but
can I give you one more name?
Okay, one more.
Mike Yastrzemski of the San Francisco Giants. I know the Indians are very high on him. I'd welcome him to the club as well. Another left-handed bat, though.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll see.
He's gonna hit though. If he's gonna hit, I'll take him.
He's doing pretty well for San Francisco this year, so we'll see. I'm excited. Let's go. I love the trade deadline.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. At least that will be over with the next time we talk here, Mike, and hopefully this saga with Clevenger and Plesac is done, and hopefully the Indians are still winning. And we're just getting excited down the stretch of this shortened season. So excited for that. But Mike, where can you find us on social media, bro?
Man, a Swing and a Tribe MLB podcast on Facebook, on Twitter. We are at Swing and a Tribe. It's tribe time, baby. Let's go. I will see you all. I will gladly wait for the next episode so we can talk more tribe.
Absolutely, Mike. It's awesome, as always, talking with you, talking baseball. And I'm curious to see how those trade predictions go after this.
I guess we'll find out. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, take care, everybody.
Who keeps you cheering year after year? Who's got the ballpark? The best is all right here.